Hello everyone, myself Dr. S.K. Mishra. I am in charge in the Department of Forensic Medicine and Toxicology at Nehru Homeopathic Medical College and Hospital, New Delhi. I would like to share this educational video regarding different forensic incidences. This video is prepared by my students. They worked very hard and created a short film even in this COVID scenario. They shooted this video from their home in their environment, so it was very difficult to shoot this video and mix them accordingly, but they did it very well. And please see this video and bless them accordingly. Thank you very much.
The video is based on forensic incidents, and the purpose of this video is to understand different forensic terms in the form of film so that it can be remembered easily. The story is purely based on creativity and assumptions. It's not to hurt anyone's religious or occupational sentiments.
Oh God! Murder of a rich businessman! Who can be behind this? Nobody knows. Let's see how the case goes on.
Order, order. Now, maintain the rules of court lawyers.
Okay, Mr. Rahul, please enlighten the court with what you saw on that day of murder.
I saw that Rupesh Babu entered home around 11 p.m. as usual, and I served him his dinner around 11.
Hey Akash, where are you going? Listen brother, you really made me sick. I'm really tired of you. You are just wasting your time and my money in the name of following your passion by wandering outside with your crazy friends.
Bro, it takes time in establishing yourself as sinner. Okay, so just relax and unblock my credit cards. Otherwise it will not be good for you.
I think it's really high time, and I think you should join the office by tomorrow and start doing some worthful things. I'm giving you last one.
Then Mr. Akash, in an angry mood, threw his plate on table and went to his room and slammed the door. Mr. Rupesh ate his food and went to sleep, and this was all happening when I left there.
I also found from my investigation that Mr. Akash is a very short-tempered guy. He once slept and tried to strangulate the policeman when he caught driving while being drunk. So it seems that Akash, while drunk and in a bad temper, smothered his brother.
Further proceed.
My lord, the case is thus crystal clear. My client Rupesh has been killed by their own brother Akash. Akash is in frustrated mood. He warned their own brother Rupesh that if he does not unblock their cards, then the consequences is disastrous. So he did what he said. He killed their own brother. He is a cold-blooded murderer.
It's totally untrue. Though there were some differences between me and my brother, but murdering my brother, I can't even imagine in wildest of my dreams.
My lord, it is a clear fact that no one is present on that day in Rupesh's house instead of my client Rupesh itself and his brother Akash.
Further proceed.
My lord, I stand here to save my client, Mr. Akash, from all the false and fraudulent accusations put against him. My lord, as per the reports we have received from the police inquest, it's clearly evident that the room of the victim was closed from inside. It means that there's only one possible way by which the murderer would have entered the victim's room, and that is through the window. To further prove my points, I would like to call the forensic expert Mr. Ansh to the witness box.
Permission granted.
Okay, Mr. Ansh, now please tell us, according to you, from which way did the murderer would have entered the victim's room?
Sir, the victim entered Rupesh's house from the window. I found some muddy footprints on the floor close to the window.
Okay, so you told that you found some footprints. Can you please enlighten the court by telling us whether the footprints matched with my client's foot?
No, those footprints are much smaller as compared to Akash.
Okay, you said no. Now, you told us that the victim was murdered to death. Now, can you please enlighten the court by telling that if someone is murdered to death, whether he would resist or not?
Yes, and we found some nail debris from the victim's nail on account of the scratching done by him while resisting.
Yes, he would resist. Okay, if he would resist, then it's quite possible that the murderer would have got some scratch marks on his body. You said yes. Did you find any scratch marks on my client's body?
No.
Okay, you said no. And according to the forensic reports of your forensic reports, you told that the upper border of the window through which the murderer entered the room contained some blood marks. Okay, can you please tell us which blood group was that?
AB positive.
You told it is AB positive, as I can see. Now, point to be noted, my lord. The blood group of my client is B positive. Mr. Ansh, can you please tell what is the blood group of the victim and the helper?
B positive and O positive respectively.
Okay, you said B positive and O positive respectively. Another point to be noted, my lord. It means that the blood was not of the victim and as well as the helper. It means the murderer is someone else. Moreover, my lord, there's a very crucial point in this case. My client on the day of fight, on the day of the murder, was intoxicated. And he drank that day with the limits that is clinically verified as to be very high. It means that there's no possibility that my client would have climbed up to the window of the victim's room. It means that my client is innocent. All the evidences are pointing that my client is innocent. Whether it be the foot marks, whether it may be the scratch marks, whether the blood marks or the intoxication of my client.
Now the case is on a standstill. If Akash is not the murderer, then who is the one?
Okay. To further prove my point, ma'am, I would like to call the business partner of Mr. Rupesh to the witness.
Permission granted.
And we had a call with my client on the murder night.
Yes.
Okay. Ma'am, can you please throw some light on it?
Sir, I received a call from Akash at about 1:30 a.m. in night. He was very angry and he told me about the fight between he and his brother and also how Rupesh blocked all his credit cards. Actually, he requested me to talk to Rupesh and make him understand to let Akash follow his passion and also to unlock his credit cards. But sir, this was not the first time that there was a issue between these two brothers. About last 2 years, about 2 years back, there was some issue between them in which I intervened and as being an interlocutor, I resolved it.
It means that the victim used to take every advice of yours very seriously.
No, it's nothing like that. It's only that if he liked my assertions, he would take them.
Okay. Ma'am, can you please tell the shareholding capacity of yours in the victim's company?
Mine is 45%.
Okay. It's 45%. It means 55% is of the victim. Meaning that the sole authority to take decisions was of the victim. Okay.
It's obvious.
Ma'am, I found some documents in my investigation. And actually it's the bill which was drafted by the victim 5 years back. And in this bill it is written that all his property, his assets would be transferred to his brother after his death. But fortunately or unfortunately, 6 months back, the victim redrafted this will and he added a clause to it. He said that if my brother, who is actually a drunkard and a drug addict, doesn't get acquainted with the work, then in 2 years, so he gave 2 years to his brother, and in these 2 years, the sole right of authority was of Miss Kritika. If he doesn't get acquainted with this work in 2 years, then all his assets and his property would be transferred to the Surya Trust. And point to be noted, my lord, the sole trustee of that Surya Trust is Miss Kritika.
Excuse me, I'm not the sole trustee of that trust.
Okay, ma'am, what you are saying is correct. Oh, I should say it was correct. You were not the sole trustee, but now you are. Ma'am.
Yes.
There were 3 trustees of the Surya Trust. One was the victim, who is dead. One was Mr. Ronak, and he died unfortunately by heart attack 2 months back. So now, Miss Kritika is the sole trustee of that trust.
Further proceed.
Okay, Miss Kritika, you played a master stroke. First, you spoiled my client by giving him blank checks from the victim's bank. Then you manipulated the mind of the victim by saying that your brother is useless, he is spoiled, and you got a will, a new will, a redrafted will 6 months back.
Sir, there is no linkage between my trustship of the will and the murder. These are totally useless and fraudulent accusations against me. By the way, do you have any proof regarding all these?
Okay. And so, I request, ma'am, I request you to further prove that Miss Kritika is the culprit. I would like to call Mr. Ansh, who is the forensic expert in the witness box.
Permission granted.
Sir, according to you, you told that you found some tire marks in the backyard. Can you please tell with whose car the tire marks are matching?
Miss Kritika.
You said Miss Kritika. Sir, you also found those blood marks and the footprints. So can you please tell with whom they are matching?
Miss Kritika.
Miss Kritika. And ma'am, DNA fingerprinting, which is the most proven authority that is there in this case. Sir, can you please tell with whom the nail debris and the hair found on the pillow is matching to?
Sir, according to DNA fingerprinting, both of the mentioned reports are matching with Miss Kritika.
That is Miss Kritika. Ma'am, I rest my case by that, and now it's up to you.
The case is crystal clear. All evidence point that Mrs. Kritika is real murderer who, owing to greed her for money, performed such heinous crime. She is sentenced to 10 years of imprisonment under Section 302 of IPC.
Thus we got to know that how a greedy business partner became almost successful in her plan. How beautifully she climbed the victim's room, entered his room and smothered him to death. But unfortunately she forgot that the truth triumphs. The hair found on the pillow, the nail debris, the muddy footprint, the blood on the window when she banged her head, the tire marks, this all proved that she was guilty and the real culprit. Satyameva Jayate.